Hi, and welcome back to Turnabout Gas Leak. Oh, wait, give me a sec. Okay, okay, we have what did we establish at the end of last stream? We established that Lemuror went through the vent to get to the other side, I think. Oh. Okay, no, we're having to, over-explain it.
I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There's an emergency exit in the backstage, where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something.
As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lemuror is saying and what we can see plainly in the video.
I figured it out already. I am a magician after all.
Well, tell me.
Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets, come on.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here. Let's see. Followed the route exactly as I was instructed.
Hold it!
How did you, proceed along this route? Sorry, give me a sec. How? Why, I walked. But you arrived behind the forum much too fast to have been walking. Tell the truth, Lemuror. You rode some kind of vehicle.
What? A vehicle? What vehicle?
What a novel idea. I like it.
Hey, that's not a bad guess. Wrong, but not bad.
Yes, laugh at the dumb attorney. I don't mind. I'm sorry, but the girl is right. That vent was much too small for vehicles. It was a tight fit. Even I had to crouch as I walked. I'm still caught up on the fact that they're just like, nobody but Machi Tobaye could have been in the vent. And now it's like, nah, it was actually big enough that Lemuror was almost able to stand up in it. Like, I cannot imagine a vehicle that would fit in such a small place. Wasn't a vehicle, then what was it?
Gonna be going for a while then, Mr. Justice. Too bad. Ready for the next part?
How do I feel like I'm on some kind of quiz show? There's an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited.
Hold
it! Did everyone on the concert staff know about the trick? Not at all, or not all. Only a few that were needed to help.
See, like I said, it's on a need-to-know basis.
So, not many people knew about the trick.
What were those stagehands required to do?
One needed to open the emergency exit. The door to the stairs is locked, but once through there,
And from there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage.
So, when you came back out, you were behind the audience.
Yes, that is how it worked.
Not a bad show, if I do say so myself.
That's Uncle Valent for you, the old grammary touch.
But on the video, you were only gone for 20 seconds. How is that possible? That's the part that I don't get either.
Yes, it would be hard to go so far in only 20 seconds. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running.
Running? That cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
That's true, but... You're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Aurora disappears on the video for 20 seconds. She says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
If you want my professional opinion, I'd bet the answer's right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony. Evidence explaining the discrepancy. Slimmer is made of plastic. That's the explanation. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony. I actually genuinely don't know. See, I think There's a part of me that thinks that it might be the brooch, because she could have, like, it could have been a stunt double, but I don't really know. What kind of evidence could prove that? What's your professional opinion about this one, Trucy?
Sorry, I don't work in evidence.
I don't work in tricks. I'm an attorney, not a magician, for crying out loud.
Really? I'm sure Daddy would have loved working on this.
Thanks, that makes me feel oh so much better. Well, I don't know about all of you, but I find this mystery fascinating. I'm not letting this trial go any further until we get to the bottom of it. Things will continue with the cross-examination until we have some answers. Easier said than done.
Hold it!
And it was Darian's voice you heard.
Yes, I'm certain it was him.
Objection!
A matter best left for later, yeah? Put that forehead of yours to work on this illusion first.
Objection!
Hold on, I think the identity of the killer is a little more important, don't you? Warden Schmortens. Objection overruled. Tell us about the illusion.
No use trying to avoid the problem at hand, Apollo.
Trying to avoid the problem? This is a murder trial. The killer is the problem. Contradiction between Lemur's testimony and the video. Unraveling an illusion can't be so different from solving a normal case, right?
Sorry, Apollo. I'm not telling. Even if you make those puppy dog faces.
Fine, fine. Okay, so the plan was...
Hold it!
Evident... Bet the answer's right there in that video. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. The video itself.
Take that!
Aha! This is it. Magical key to unlocking this illusion's dark secret. Tell us how it works, quickly. I can't bear the suspense. I was kind of hoping someone else would jump in at this point. Well, you see...
Objection!
Dear Judge, I do hate to spoil the mood, but I haven't the faintest idea what he's talking about, and neither does he.
I'm a little confused too there, Apollo.
Right, by which I conclude that I was wrong.
Better luck next time, Pollywog.
Mr. Justice, I'm holding you responsible for spoiling my mood. Is that a tear I just saw in the judge's eye? He's in the video, so what? Aw. Yes, the key's in the video, so don't present the video.
Hold it!
Let me guess. I think I figured it out. I think it's the brooch, because I bet if we take a look at it, she's got the brooch on here, and she doesn't have it when she's on the other side. Yep, she's missing it. Hey, Banana, how are you doing?
Take that!
Lemrar, do you happen to remember this brooch? Aha! The brooch. Saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now? Why? I thought we had already determined when that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Take another look at Orange Clavier. He's a mimetic hazard. It'll give you brain damage. Here you can see that she's wearing the brooch. She is. Let's look a bit later. What? The brooch, it's gone. What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means that there can only be one explanation. The Lemrar we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lemrar we see after are two different people. What? The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. That is not directly beneath the air vent, Apollo, but... That's not even remotely close to directly beneath the air vent. Lemrar, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? At the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did.
Order. Prosecutor Gavin.
From your expression, I gather you have no idea this was the case, Judge. I, of course, knew.
Stop. Turnabout Serenade. Stop digging. Please. Stop digging yourself a deeper hole.
I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me. The switch and the shooting took place at the same time.
So, I was right. There was a switch.
There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lemrar was replaced.
While we're on the subject, just who is this replacement, Lemrar?
Why, the man behind the illusion, Valiant Grammary.
It's Grammary? That's quite the illusion. But I still don't get one thing.
Yes.
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage.
That's right.
This fake Lemrar is still singing. And she's pretty good. Don't worry, he'll go back to having brains in the next case. Once we remove him from the gas leak that's apparently happening in this courtroom. She's pretty good. That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They were just playing a recording.
The governor's on some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein.
Oh, you mean that I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play live, no recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lemrar.
Very well.
Nah, the gas leak is just affecting the judge and Clavier at this point. And Emma. Yes, do tell. And add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing, even while I moved.
Objection!
What? Fuck off, game. That's correct.
Hold it!
You were singing?
Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings. And so I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Then when you were crawling above the ceiling toward the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing? When everywhere I go is the same darkness.
What if you were singing while you were walking?
That's right. Wouldn't the shooter and the victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads, after all.
That is right. Are you sure? It'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime. What state?
I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder.
That's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set's coming up.
Satisfied. That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker, playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lemur singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lemur singing over the speaker. Genius. Voice was hidden by her voice. Lemur?
I have just remembered something.
Well?
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, so I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
Song stopped?
And thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse. So not many would notice.
Forehead. Is that the mixing board I lent you? Where is it? Mixing, huh?
In that machine, Apollo. The one that breaks music into tracks.
Oh, this. I'd completely forgotten about it. Don't worry, Apollo, I haven't. Let's take a listen. Song does stop there. Yeah, there was like a weird delay on the vocals. I must have missed it. Look at the lyric sheet. At the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. It only says it once, okay. You can hear the, like, the disjointedness of it as well. This is evidence indeed. I believe we're guilty of making a terrible mistake.
The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lemuror's ballad.
If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could possibly be the shooter.
Which means that Darian Crescend could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet, one problem remains.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
Air Forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lemuror's testimony.
Is there a problem with this?
Well, it's quite simple. Though it pains me to say it.
You dare accuse my ex?
What if she is lying to protect the defendant?
Objection!
But you have no proof.
All I'm saying is that the truth is yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself.
Man, you don't mean...
Yes. Though he is a friend, a band member, Darian Crescend must take the stand. I see no other way.
As someone with a new perspective on the case.
As a suspect, to be frank.
Also, give me a sec.
Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole. And I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescend, get ready for justice.
It's as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess.
Yeah, we finally have, like... Turnabout brain damage. It's still the same one, but, the Turnabout gas leak as well.
Prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin.
I am the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are.
Very well, court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
Turnabout concussion. Nah, Turnabout concussion would be the first game of the first case of the second game, because Phoenix literally gets a concussion at the start of that case. It gives him anime amnesia.
Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act. And right in the middle of Lemuror's performance.
Reason why she was in that air vent. And that switch and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. This is either Lemuror or Phoenix.
Yeah, you had what it took. Yeah, there we go.
Ah, Daddy.
Mr. Wright, you believed in me?
Not really.
Huh?
I just thought that it'd make a cooler entrance than say hiya.
Why do I even bother hoping?
Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed.
Oh no! What if you're shot too, Daddy?
Well, I'm losing the edge on Trucy's voice. Did I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving?
Now, one thing before I go.
What?
Look.
Right.
Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. We'll get Machi Tobae off the hook, no doubt.
Yeah, but
You're after that detective, aren't you?
Darien Crescend.
And it won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
The current court system.
What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely that our Diva Divine is telling the truth.
But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch.
Piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. Blaming Guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case.
The dark age of the law. Technically speaking, that's actually a plot point that doesn't happen. That doesn't actually come full into effect until Dual Destinies, but it kind of starts in this game. This game is like the lead up to it.
But
The sultry songstress is lying. Your case melts like butter in a frying pan. Leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend.
Detective Sky. Emma?
Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is.
What is that?
what are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material.
I found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar. Like one of those, or like one of the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under a sofa at the scene of the crime, actually.
Oh, okay. So this is how they faked the gunshots during the third act. Under the sofa.
Hey, Apollo. That's where we found that little device thingy.
Right, this.
Well, finally some evidence that makes sense.
Sorry, give me a sec.
That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe.
Right.
Every man has an igniter inside him.
Excuse me?
Find Darien Crescend's igniter and set it off. Walked out the door, just like a magician, normally.
What does he want us to do? No conventional methods. What does that mean?
Guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes.
I guess.
We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy.
Yeah, kill him. Bailiff, beat this man with hammers.
We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy.
We still have multiple full-ass testimonies from Darien to go through. The general consensus is this movie is so stupid, I love it.
Bailiff, whack his pee-pee. Chat, kill this man with hammers. Or... Order's now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent?
In the witness lounge, ready to be called in at any time.
Very well.
Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs, Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination.
That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Thank you, Apollo. Correct?
Oh, I know, Air Forehead.
Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent.
Name and occupation, please.
Darian Crescent. Detective, Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard us? Fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today. Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. Give me your word I wouldn't be standing here. Sorry, I keep having to pause.
The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. Not anymore. Well, you did break my heart, Darian.
So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial? Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. I begin with your response to Lemuror's testimony. If in fact you have anything to say about it.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Lion must be a national pastime in Borginia.
Wherever you're from, Mr. Justice.
Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing.
Eve is lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. First place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. You claim Lemuror's testimony was a lie. Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. She's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand, just because she's blind.
You go too far, Darian.
Look, all I'm saying is you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
You didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lemuror's testimony alone. We'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place.
You know, what was the statement I was gonna point out? He's hardcore deflecting. Diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story.
Hold it!
You don't have any proof she was lying. Oh, yeah, kid? You saying I lied? No, I'm just saying,
Apollo, glare back at him.
didn't help it. I flinched by reflex. Detective Crescend. Yeah, what do you want? Nothing.
Apollo, chin up, back straight, you're wilting.
This guy's hard as nails. He makes Walkie look downright cooperative. Look, there's no way the diva remembers my voice. In the first place, she never heard my voice.
Hold it!
You never talked to her, even though you were playing in the same concert? Not a word as far as I can recall. But weren't there planning sessions or something? Gavin took care of all that himself. Darian wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. Ugh. As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that. Lemura's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him. I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof. Got the words because she heard the gunshots? As if. Can we... Yeah, she didn't... She... So, you think this was some kind of firecracker?
Yeah, or one of those noise makers, like you shoot off in New Year's.
Did you know that in China they use firecrackers on New Year's to scare off evil? So it's kind of the same thing.
Really? I had no idea. Well, did you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter.
At least my useless fact had something to do with the evidence. Osmond Sunstone VT. How are you doing? I don't know what you want me to call you. If you want me to just call you Osmond or whatever, but welcome in. So, question, can I listen to the actual, like, performance on this? I can. Oh, you can literally hear it right there. Oz or Osmond is all right. How are you doing? Welcome in. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if.
Hold it!
We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it. Oh yeah, there was a mistake. Blaming it on gunshots, just a lame excuse. What do you mean? Mixing board proves what? Proves there was a mistake in the song, a miscue. So, she just flubbed it up, big time, that's all. She spins this story about a gunshot to protect the kid and cover for her own goof. Man, I'd have to hand it to her if she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time. Darian, watch what you say. Lemroar is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That is no small accusation for a performer of her caliber. You got to you all right? I can see it in your eyes. And I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious it's way over my head. Detecting a rift in the Gavernor's ranks. Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I'd go with Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick. Okay, so... I'm gonna make a confidence save because I'm very confident that this is the correct answer. I'm gonna present the soundboard to this.
Objection!
Yeah. Remember this, Detective Crescend? Mixing board? What about it? It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lemurer's song. Song? What exactly is this, device thingy? A variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just used this. And don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately. Lemurer's voice included. Oh, what does this prove? According to Lemurer's testimony, the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at the moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Heh, ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in the dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. No. We were all deeply involved in a performance. Hey, Aprak, how are you doing? Back in my day, music was sophisticated, you know? Mozart has his way with music more than you think. Or has way more music. I read that very wrong, but we vibe. Turnabout gas leak. But Lemurer's headset would have picked up what she said, or what she heard all the same. Let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now. Lemurer stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. Gas leak, that can't be good. Yeah, it's causing the judge and Clavier brain damage. It's literally right there at the start. I just present this.
Take that!
Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lemurer's vocals. Gee, I wonder where the gunshot is, yeah. To be fair, without knowledge of what you're supposed to be looking for there, because I have seen this case before. Without knowledge of what you're supposed to be looking for there, that is significantly harder to find. To the point where people absolutely hate this soundboard. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. Or, the sound was coming over the headset along with her voice. Kevin, you're crazy, man, crazy. Upstanding prosecutor like you even listening to this weak evidence? Man, you can barely hear that. How do you know it's a gun? Perhaps it is you who is hard of hearing, Darian. It sounds like a gunshot to me. Admit it, you lost, Detective Crescend. Okay, so what about the gunshots Detective Sky heard? You heard them too, didn't you? Don't even think about telling me you were mistaken. First into the stream, definitely, 100%. You're thinking of telling them, not Mr. Justice? No, Your Honor. Detective Sky and I clearly heard what sounded like gunshots. But they weren't. What? And I have evidence that proves it.
Then I think you're the best shot to the code. Let's seize this evidence.
What, Mr. Justice? The evidence showing what we heard, or what we really heard, is this.
Take that!
Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device.
That's the remote trigger igniter.
Correct. And one more thing. Are those the remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope.
Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker.
Eh? How did Gavin know about this?
What? You think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning, before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. Just in case.
This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? You shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient for me. How so? You're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when two witnesses came walking by?
That's right. Darian was on stage when it happened, Apollo. How could we know someone was backstage right then?
Firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear. Get my drift. Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this?
He may not look it, but Darian is a
Wow, that was a Freudian slip and a half.
Okay, he's a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it.
May not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man.
Darian is a dickhead, yeah, exactly. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the third set. And he's an absolute beast in bed.
Darian's hair is taking you out. Darian's hair is great. It reminds me of, what is his name? One of the main characters from JoJo. I've never seen JoJo, but he reminds me of the JoJo character that's got the pompadour. I think he's the... Is it Josuke? Yeah, it is Josuke, okay. Something odd?
A headset. The kind all members of the... all of the band and staff members were wearing.
I hate that my brain reads, like, it mashes text lines together vertically. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room.
What if the headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on?
You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Huh. Whose side are you on, Gavin?
Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in the court of law. In any case, I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamro's testimony was true.
Clavier's brain cell is regrowing. Order! Oh, she was telling the truth about what she heard.
Someone finally fixed the gas leak. Yes, finally. It was Phoenix. Phoenix fixed the gas leak. That's what he was working on this whole time while he was gone.
So she was telling the truth about what she heard.
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch, now.
Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
Why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon?
Lemroy was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Plot twist, Phoenix caused the gas leak to make Apollo mad. I just figured I'd spice up the trial a little bit, you know? Well, Detective Crescent? Once again, I'm reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Air Forehead. What is with today? Problem after problem, Achtung! My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar has been burnt to a crisp. And to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off.
What? That was Apollo.
Which is that? Second guitar. Ah. It was you, Darian. Hey, Paradoxica, how are you doing? I saw that strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. I feel like the longer I... Oh my, Air Forehead. Your impression of me was quite on point. You know... I don't even know how the Clavier voice sounds. It probably sounds bad, but like, I'm messing up on the voice acting via not realizing it was another character's dialogue is so real. Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, well, You what? I'm Prosecutor Gavin. What are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon. Mr. Latouche's 35 caliber hand cannon. It's not even a gun, it's a hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Now you're bringing this up. Now you're bringing this up. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done with Turnabout Gas Leak. Wait, you mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver?
Heh, you're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent. I'm a trained police officer, you know? I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur.
The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche. Clavier is just trolling Apollo and Darian. Which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
Oh, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. That what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes.
Oh, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescend? I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up, up ready for action has to say. Hey, you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. You have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 35 or 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. Has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescend. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? Want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. I wasn't aware that Machi had a motive either. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? He's an Interpol agent. If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? Simple reason indeed. You say that like people in Ace Attorney haven't been convicted when they haven't been proven guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. So some of the characters of actually no, they always it's always whenever it's your client getting convicted. Simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before.
According to our records, yes, not even once.
I see, very well.
But yeah, like what I was saying earlier with Gavin's shitty accent is that like even if it's not a great accent, like it's helping me build confidence in like my ability to actually do like attempt accents, I guess.
Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great, now I need to find a motive.
Come on, why would I want to even kill that manager?
Hold it!
Her manager, sure, but Mr. Latouche was...
Alright, sorry, an Interpol agent, wasn't he? I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? And not a very good one, seeing how he got wasted. That's cold, dog. Not that it matters either way. See, I had no reason to kill the man, whatever he was. You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man.
Hold it!
But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him.
Come on, he traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. Ugh. More than I sure did.
Just because he had the chance to make a motive doesn't mean that...
I mean, think about it. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right?
Hold it!
Darian, you're a detective with international affairs.
Yeah, what of it?
Even if this was Mr. Latouche's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert.
Huh?
Or don't you take any international trips in international affairs?
That's right. Well, Detective Crescend. That's your game, is it? Guess I'd better confess then. Yes? Yeah, it's been a bit of an embarrassment, but I've never been sent overseas.
What? But you're an international...
See, me and Plains got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other much. Pretzel stick sounds really good, not.
My condolences, Air Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside of the country. I can't guarantee it. Or I can guarantee it. I can't guarantee it.
As it turns out, my division has plenty of work to do locally as well.
That's so unfair.
How could I possibly know our manager?
Hold it!
So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert?
Fraternize? I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to take that old Eastern blockhead. Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. You see? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
Hold it!
You sure about that?
What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations, I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget who you're accusing of what.
Air Forehead, perhaps it's best you let your evidence do the talking, yeah?
Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know.
So he's using this motive question as ammunition, huh? I've got ammunition too. Evidence. Can I just say, Trucy has been oddly quiet for the last, like, 3 testimonies. I want to try sending the cocoon at this. This is getting boring, yeah.
This is getting really boring, Apollo. I'm gonna go wait out in the lobby.
Objection!
Your Honor, take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like candy.
It's not. Don't lick it, please.
Mr. Clavier seemed to have gotten his brain cell back. Time for me to go make some leaks. More gas into the room. Gas leaks.
It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescend. Ever seen this?
Looks like a piece of candy.
What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It's found among the victim's belongings. Trucy, no.
A cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It's a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else.
Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely it has nothing to do with motive for killing Dr. Latouche. Mr. Latouche, does it?
It does. Wait. I mean, I think it does.
You don't sound so confident, man. Cocoon? One of those, is it one of those silky cocoons? And you can make, well, silk out of.
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
Curative? For what?
Apparently.
Wow, that's not your voice.
Apparently. It's most This is efficacious, right? Efficacious in treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia.
Whatever for? It's such a miracle cure. Why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. Nukes? No, not. That would be Metal Gear. You gotta wait till we play Metal Gear for that. It caused quite the commotion in the global community. So the media was kept largely unaware. I'm trying to learn how to play medic classes in FF14, and it's ruined the way that I look at the word media because I read it as media.
Intriguing.
All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol?
Persona brain rot? It's not even that. It's just that, like, media is a skill. Like, it's a healing skill in 14. And I've had the 14 brain rot. Which I don't know if I said on stream last night, but I finally finished a Realm Reborn patch quests. So I'm on to Heavensward now. And I just unlocked Astrologian, and Astrologian seems like an interesting class. Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescend. You insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent.
I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder.
No, so I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony. About the smuggling of cocoons business. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. And sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal.
How many testimonies are there? I have no idea. Though now that we have Darian on the stand, we should be pretty close to the end of this case. Like, it's gotta be like 2 or 3 more testimonies.
Indeed. Interpol wanted those cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think of the craziest things. No way am I going to risk life and limb to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
According to the reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons.
Hold it!
That memo, that's how you knew about the cocoons.
Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now.
You had to know about the cocoons to plan this.
Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'd never heard of them.
Well, Lemroar knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export. That's all.
And I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all. You'd say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah? That includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter. Yeah. Interpol's all hot and bothered about him.
Hold it!
I do not think that phrase means what you think it means. So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche.
All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why those cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous.
Hold it!
Dangerous? Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore.
Hold it!
But wouldn't scarcity drive up the prices? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too.
Who's on trial here again?
And you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. And I'm in international affairs. I know the deal.
Hold it!
Which is why you'd know how to find a loophole in the system. Hey, you can say what you want about me, but back off international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? That wasn't what I was trying to, Down, Darian. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Borginian customs are all watching. See? We know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says. I oughta. Oughta what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. Holy shit, Apollo. Wow. You say down, Darian? We aren't in my bedroom, Clavier. Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. Damn. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. I'm thinking he tried to frame Clavier at this point. There's lightly scorched, and then there's this.
It's burned clean through.
It's pretty much a useless piece of junk.
It's kind of like you after a trial, Apollo.
Which part? The burned clean through, or the useless piece of junk? Because he found the replica inside of his guitar. Okay. The final cross-examination. Never mind. The game lied to me. Interpol's all hot and bothered about him. Can't sell him on the black market, too dangerous. Cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Yeah, confidence save. Do I need to make a confidence save emote? Just for you, for y'all to save? Or for y'all to, like, spam whenever I end up confidence saving or just repeatedly saving? Should I try doing it in the style of the Ace Attorney objection bubble? Can someone send that into the Discord so I don't forget about that? Just like send it in like general or something.
Thank you for beeping over in the other room, PS3. I really appreciate it. Okay, so... See... I kind of think it's this. But I don't know what statement I'm supposed to present on. Sorry, give me a sec. So I'm thinking that the angle that I'm supposed to take with this is, you didn't intend to sell it on the black market.
Objection!
Yeah, there we go. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are ya? Everyone in the market's dangerous. Second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justices. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying... Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. Fucking incuritis, yeah. That's Detective Crescen's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescend, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Tasteful as it is to think about it, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. Very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Regina and Custom barely sleeps. They're so worried about the cocoons getting out. We were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. I'm sorry I keep having to pause. It's like a rule. The first, like, 2 hours, like, hour and a half to 2 hours of the stream have to be me, repeatedly pausing and taking breaks every little bit to warm myself up. Genieing Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Also, thank you for the stretching out.
Objection!
Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. Prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamror.
How did it end up here?
I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
And so, this guitar is from Borginia.
That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity would ruin the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamro's studio. And used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Borginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. Wow. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Air Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort.
A broken device.
Yes, this, in fact. An igniter. Exactly. Sorry, Gideon. I swear, if you took a shot every time I said sorry, give me a sec, you'd be drunk before like the 2-hour mark. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar?
You mean...
He means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band. Yeah. Order, order, order. Igniter. It was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. Precaution? Air Forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lemuror's ballad, if you would. First, my keys were stolen. a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar.
I see.
But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler.
What's that?
Mr. Latouche.
Ah,
Mr. Latouche was an undercover agent. An undercover agent was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch now. The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then, Mr. Latouche died. With Lemrar there to witness it. There's your case.
brilliant, man. Detective Crescend. I gotta know, you make that all up on the fly?
For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian.
Public aboard Genia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
True, you haven't.
Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I had the cocoon in the first place, huh?
It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. Aboard Genie, an accomplice. Yes, Lemrar was in the vents, despite the fact that we established earlier that the vents were only big enough to hold Machi. Because... reasons. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lemrar heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch now. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
This is it. The coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say, then. But be warned, great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
Am I supposed to accuse Machi? I assume I'm supposed to accuse Machi.
Take that!
There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice. And that person is the defendant, Machi Tobaye.
But, Mr. Justice, he's your client.
Defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. And what if it was in fact Lemrar?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals.
Recall that this remote only works at a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lemrar was in the vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
which doesn't include the platform. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lemroy still could have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made the transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar's serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lemroy stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lemroy's position in the air vent. Ah. Well, Detective Crescend, what do you say to that?
Your Honor. Yes, Detective? See the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this.
Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk?
First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
Exactly what we're supposed to see in this video.
The problem isn't what we see, correct, Darian?
Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all.
Care to explain for us non-musicians?
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the Wii pianist to set off that igniter. Alright?
Yes?
Oh, in order to do that, you'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano.
You know, I don't know why, but for some reason my brain can't pick the piano out of that. It all sounds like guitar to my brain. What seems to be the problem there? Piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? Yeah, Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. Only one with her hands free was the diva.
Lemroy.
But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have a hard time helping out. If they couldn't even press a switch.
Piano plays non-stop. Not really. Turnabout Serenade, I need you to end right now. He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well,
it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes.
Apollo, were you wrong?
I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... strange? What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Mr. Justice, Machi Tobae didn't press that switch. could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says that he's the accomplice.
You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire. The pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tobaye the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
He can't because I said he can't. Yeah, exactly. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch.
Well, you'd better find a way to prove it.
What do I do? What do I do?
There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd.
Something odd. Wait a second.
Oh, what? You thought of something?
What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd?
You come up with something, Mr. Justice? I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machi Tobaye pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi Tobaye pressed that switch? I can prove it.
I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Air Forehead, you're sure about this?
Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim? And then press the switch.
I'm gonna send this because we found this in the piano.
Take that!
The basis for my claim is this evidence, Your Honor.
I'm not sure I follow.
Can't bluff your way out of this one. Nor can you prove anyone pressed the switch with that evidence. Maybe I picked the wrong evidence.
Every bluff, there is an equal and opposite penalty.
What did Gavin hear that was odd? It's the only hint I've got here. Machi's hands were tied up playing the piano. So this is the bass. That's the guitar. Or is that the guitar? This is supposed to be the piano. Man, usually I'm good at identifying instruments, but... I can't be the only one that's reminded of Pokemon music with this, right?
Oh, it's right there. I just heard it.
Take that!
The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Yeah, Machi played a tritone there. Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flames. I hear a piano being played. But, doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. I'm not... Okay. That's not where I thought we were going with this, but okay, anything to get this case over with. He could play the piano with the other. What? So you're some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. What do you know? Can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy.
Yeah, you got something.
Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he?
Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you gonna prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't. I admit, it'll be rather difficult to prove. But it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No. No way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. It was the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame. Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it. Oh, right there. It's not layered there. For one,
Take that!
That's the section. I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin? It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding. I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with the section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing Gavin heard? What? Give me one more chance, because we don't have a choice. So what, huh? Why does it? What? What do you mean? Just... Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now, why is it the first one? Just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Air Forehead. Realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to this, or let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Was I supposed to be, like, comparing it? I think I was supposed to give it something to compare against. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? Trust me, Darian, I'm thinking the exact same thing. You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar burst into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh That Night" in Your Embrace. Okay, so we're supposed to present something that contrasted it, but... Ah, play verse 2 again. There, did you hear that? They feel the same, true. They're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple. But the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. Ah. Ugh. What's that proof? I would think you know that by now. Why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. The two verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That's what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves, why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. Ugh. Order. I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What, no comeback? Can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Well, barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Air Forehead. Just keeps going.
You know,
I tried to give this case the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say something controversial.
This is worse than Turnabout Big Top. Like, genuinely. If I was making a tier list of the cases, this goes straight to the bottom. Like, this is genuinely the worst case, period, so far that I've played. I haven't played Investigations 1 and 2. I've heard that Investigations 1 is really slow. And I haven't played Spirit of Justice, and Big Top's is stupid in terms of being goofy with physics. Well, this is just painful. Yeah. Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out. But even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him. Fortunately, anyone does not include the law. Afraid your case doesn't cut it. But... 1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion. Without decisive evidence, it's not proof. What do you mean? What do you mean, Judge? That's the rule under our current legal system. What? I don't believe it. Not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. No, I think if he did, we already would have seen it, long ways back. It's unfortunate, but at present this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What? Truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals?
Apollo, remember what Daddy said?
It won't be easy proving he did it. It's daytime. Unless I see evidence, I don't believe you. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Krishen's igniter and set it off.
I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter.
I think he just meant a weak spot, no? And a thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion? Won't be able to press him further by conventional means. Gotta find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? May look like I got a lot of time on my hands. I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why? That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. Blow this one. Be out of your hands for good.
Go for it, Apollo.
What, this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Air forehead. You're accusing this man, Darian Krishen, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latus and smuggling of a Borginian cocoon.
This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on for far too long. We're in agreement then, Judge. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter goes turns out to be a dud. The moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Let's have it. What's the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent? Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's plan is evidence. The defense is prepared to show the court evidence. Be my guest. Be all of our guests, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence supporting your accusations against Darian Crescent. I would really appreciate it if my joystick would actually read my directions properly. I don't know if I'm supposed to send the igniter itself or if I'm supposed to send the remote trigger. I really want it to be the remote trigger, and we just press the button and Darian fucking bursts into flames. I really want that. Though I'm thinking, no, because the igniter was there to burn the Borginian cocoon, which means that it would, I'll send it. This is your igniter. So, exactly how am I supposed to react to that? He's not flustered at all. A dud. I'm afraid your poetic tale ended up to be a mere fantasy. Reality bites, Mr. Justice. Penalty. Ow. You try once more. Yep. Blah, 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 blah.
Take that!
You see, the sad thing is that because these games are bigger, like the Apollo trilogy of games is bigger, it takes forever to load. Present evidence. Is it the keyring? Because, like, I'm thinking it could be the keyring, just because, like, Darian's the only person I could think of that would actually have access to the keyring. I doubt it's a witness because they've been hammering home like, oh, you know, witness testimony isn't enough to convict him. You need evidence.
Take that!
so... Is it the guitar? I actually genuinely have no idea at this point.
Take that!
Can you, like... No, fuck, I didn't mean to overwrite that. Whoops. Okay, so... hmm. Did I send the keyring? I actually genuinely wouldn't mind a hint on this, like... Don't think I did send the, keyring. He did those crimes, and surely he couldn't. It's not the mixing board, is it? With the other song?
Take that!
What? Okay, this is genuinely just pissing me off now. Like, I genuinely, like, I'm over this case. Like, I was thinking the gun because he would have got the kickback. But apparently not. Apparently I should just go fuck myself. What? Am I supposed to call a witness? Because if I'm supposed to call a witness, I'm gonna fucking riot. Oh my god. Really?
Take that!
Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? What is? It's true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I need to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who's this person that can prove Darian Krishen's guilt? What? I think at this point, I'm just so brain fried that, like, I can't. It can't be Phoenix, like. The one person who can prove Darian Krishen's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobaye. Your client, again? Machi Tobaye was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Krishen could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It required just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside this burnout guitar. Ah, very scientific of you. Thus, if Machi Tobaye acknowledges his agreement with Darian Krishen concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved.
Darian's laughing again.
Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? Little Key Tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law. Yeah, see? Our pianist really was a smuggler. Testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Krishen. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ugh. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia. And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? Same goes for Machi Tobaye. Ugh. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi Tobaye knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him. And that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. Hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies, or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please.
His hair went flaccid.
Darian, I consider that my last session with you. Wir rocked.
Guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession?
Uh-oh, he's laughing again.
It's kind of sick desperation in it now, though.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk? I'll escort everything.
I didn't want it to turn out this way. But I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime.
Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew. From beginning, I knew.
Machi.
The situation, I cannot explain. But money I needed. Very much money.
His trial is a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in the court of law is evidence. So the golden rule, however, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Other case of this sort surface, I have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobaye,
Yes.
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latus, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
I thank you. I only lie. But you see, truth. You find truth.
You need hard evidence. Calls a witness instead and wins. Yeah, exactly.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobaye, not guilty. Court is adjourned.
Oh my good lord, finally.
I wonder what'll happen to Machi.
Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. Phoenix did say that you need unconventional ways. It's still BS, though. Okay. It's supreme BS. I'm gonna go off on this for a sec. It is absolute BS on that. Because their whole issue with it is... Their whole issue with Lemur's testimony is, like, oh, you don't have evidence, and she could be lying to cover Machi. But why doesn't that same logic apply to Machi? Machi isn't hard evidence. His testimony is not hard evidence. This case makes me feel like like I've got like there's a gas leak, I swear. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well.
Daddy! I owe you both my thanks.
Lemrar,
Mai, is something wrong?
I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on the stage. Your friend.
Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet. And something got a hold of him. Something evil, I see that. And he must pay for what he's done. Is that not how it should be?
Still sorry.
Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I'm considering an eye operation.
It's my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lemur lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? Those two voices were too similar.
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I've been running from. I was scared.
What changed your mind? Hearing your defense in there today. You can feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I'll take up painting.
Painting?
That's right. She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I'll paint the two of you. I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lemrar.
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? It reminded me I needed to hurry things along. My secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission.
Apollo, Trucy. I hope that we'll meet again someday soon. You bet. Me too.
And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, yeah, it definitely went on and on and on and on and on. The guitar's serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
Have them catch the killer at the end.
See you guys later. I'm gonna bash my head in with a plank.
oh boy, that was a long case. But Turnabout Succession is actually really good. It might drag a little bit, but Turnabout Succession is really good from what I remember. And that is the whole truth of this case. In order to understand it myself, I had to know the story of these last 7 years. Nothing happens by chance. All is connected. You stand ready to begin the final chapter of the story. Defendant be found guilty or innocent. The decision is yours.
Hey, Apollo, look on TV. Look.
Yeah, I'm kind of busy.
Whoa, look at that. He's the last Grammary, all right? Amazing. Apollo, you should be watching this.
Ow. What? I was writing about our last case in my journal.
Lawyers are supposed to write things in records, Apollo, not journals. And why now? That case was 3 months ago.
Hey, it's a long story. Did a lot, you know? I want to vacuum pack the feel of the moment for later. Right now, I'm wowing the crowd by figuring out how Lemrar disappeared.
That's right. Uncle Valent did that illusion too. But you're missing him on TV right now.
I was just getting to the good part. Suppose I should watch a little TV with her. After all, her father's expecting me to look after her while he's away. What you're seeing now is a rehearsal for the greatest magic show on Earth. Happening right here in our very own Sunshine Coliseum. Sunshine Coliseum? Hey, that's where the Governors concert was. Only 3 more days until miracles happen here, right before your unbelieving eyes. Legendary troupe Grammary is performing for the first time in 7 years.
That's going to be great. I'm so there. You and Daddy are coming too.
Legendary Grammaries. Trucy's real father were still alive. I did a lot of drinking, bashing my head, and screaming, yeah. He'd be on that stage performing miracles.
I've got the tickets and everything. Here's yours, Apollo.
Ah, you are here. Working hard or hardly working? Hey, how have you been?
Hi there, stranger.
Not exactly the kind of greeting I'd want to hear from my own kid. Though he has been gone a long time. How goes it, Trucy? Here, I got a present for you.
Yay, pudding. I love pudding. Oh, it's farm fresh. And not just 1 pudding, but 3 whole cups. I'll have to pace myself.
Well, I'm beat.
That's right, Daddy. You're on the top secret mission. You've got to take it easy with secrets, you know?
All right, you are. So you still can't tell us what your mission is. Maybe it is time. It has something to do with you, anyway. Huh? With me?
Oh, maybe you're getting a top secret mission too. Maybe you can be one of those guys. A spy.
Can I just be a defense attorney? To be honest, telling you about the mission was my whole reason for coming here today. What? Tell me. You've heard of the Jurist system, yes?
The Jurist system?
That's right. New legal system everyone's talking about.
Have you heard of it, Apollo?
Huh? Maybe. Maybe not as many people are talking about it as I thought. Jurist system, huh?
So, Daddy, what's this jurist system thing?
Well, Trucy, do you know what a jury is?
I've heard of it. Isn't that those people who sit in court on those old courtroom dramas? The ones who get to decide if a guy's innocent or guilty. Do you know Apollo?
Only from TV. It's 12 people chosen from the community, right? Well, they're thinking about reviving that system. They're calling the new system the Jurist system.
No more doing whatever you like, Your Honor.
Not quite that harsh. The jurists cooperate with the judge. They help analyze the case from different angles. And there'll be only 6 of them under the current proposal, right?
Wow, you know your stuff, Apollo.
Findings directly affect the verdict. Hopefully people will start taking courts a little more seriously now.
I feel like I'm on some kind of educational TV show. And starring Dr. Wright.
Dr. Wright and his assistant Trucy. And mascot Apollo, the perfect team. Mascot? Hey! So, what is this secret mission? Your system is my mission, more or less. Anyway, keep in mind that the new ideas like this system are always risky, Apollo.
Too true. Everyone's got an opinion, and Just talk and talk and nothing gets decided. I'm kinda like you, Apollo.
I'm not that bad, am I? In any case, we're going to give it a shot. A test, if you will.
I don't like tests.
Let's take this case as a sample and choose 6 jurists. I'll be the one helping with that process, incidentally. Helping how? Well, for one, I'll be chair of the Jurist System Simulated Court Committee. Chair constructs the ideal situation, choosing the case, the jurist candidates, even the judge in the courtroom.
Wow, it's like you have a real job.
I was never that good at the piano, to be honest. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer, I guess. Trial's tomorrow, by the way. Don't miss it. Trial simulation, that is.
Simulation. Huh. Sounds interesting.
So, what kind of case is the trial simulation about? Well, since the first run-through of a new system, I wanted something simple.
Good thinking. No sense wearing yourself out on something too serious.
True. Case is a murder. That's not simple at all.
By simple, do you mean the defendant is...
Guilty, yes. Most likely. So, good luck, Apollo. With what? Well, trial tomorrow. You're defending, of course. All that I said it had something to do with you?
Go for it, Apollo. It's just a test case anyway. No sweat.
Yeah, but there's still a verdict to be decided. And a potentially serious sentence. The most serious in a worst-case scenario. You mean the verdict's for real? That's not a test trial, that's a real trial. All the forms have been filed, there's no turning back now. Trial begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. Hope you can make room in your schedule. Why am I only hearing about this now? Yes, there was a change this morning. I picked the new case. Huh? Something that happened last night.
Hey, Apollo, I know you're excited about that secret mission. But what about this? The Troop Grammary Grand Magic Show.
Huh? Oh, right, the card tricks.
They're not card tricks. They're grand illusions, miracles, the apocalypse. Heaven and earth will shake.
So what? That's 3 whole days from now.
It's all Sunshine, it's at Sunshine Coliseum. Let's go today. We can say hi to Uncle Valen.
Have fun.
What? I can't go by myself. You know I'm not very outgoing.
Right. Why not go with her? But what about the secret mission? No, don't worry about that. You'll hear all about it tomorrow, regardless. I don't trust that smile. He knows something that he's not telling me.
Yippee! Now you can take me to the Coliseum.
I suppose it wouldn't kill me to pop over there. Grammary. That reminds me.
What's this, Daddy? Isn't that Silcat the Grammary seal?
Consider it a birthday present, Trucy.
Thanks, it's great. But today isn't my birthday.
Good point. What day is it today, Apollo? Huh? Today? I think it's Recycle Your Plastics Day. It's Recycle Your then it's a Recycle Your Plastics present. I don't know why this line just killed me.
Yippee, so it's plastic.
I've given up on trying to understand them. It's much easier that way. So what is it?
Can I open it, Daddy?
No.
Huh?
Need that envelope someday. Someday soon. Don't open it until then.
Well, why didn't you just hold on to it until then?
That would be the logical thing to do. Envelope about the Grammaries, huh? Alright, so what case are you going to use? You really want to know, don't you? Of course I do. I mean, I'm gonna be defending, aren't I? All goes well, then yes, of course. This is just a test. Wanted everyone to start without preconceptions. Blank slate, as it were. There's a difference between having a blank slate and just being totally clueless. Whose dumb idea was that anyway? Well, mine. Committee chair, remember? Oh. Well, if you want to know that badly, I suppose I could give you permission to examine the scene of the crime. Good, that's better. But you can't talk to anyone involved with the case.
What? But then how am I supposed to defend?
You let me worry about the details there. Remember, I'm in charge of this trial. All of it.
But you don't want it to backfire, do you?
Apollo, if I'm in charge of the whole trial, that means the entire affair is my responsibility. Good or for bad. Just do what you can. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
All right.
I'd recommend going down to the detention center. Client's waiting for you. You can ask about the scene there.
You just said I couldn't talk to anyone involved.
No, you can talk to your client. If you can get her to talk.
Well, time's a wasting.
Oh god, I forgot. This is the case with Spark Brushel. Hat. Is that a spare? Looks exactly like the one you always wear.
And that's the first rule. That's the first rule of a professional. Be prepared.
Spark Brushel, he's a witness for this case. He's not a recurring character or anything. He's just a character.
You know, the other day, I put it on the other day, and this strange white substance fell all over me. It was like magic.
Or like fingerprinting powder. Owen's practicing the piano, as usual. Even calling him a pianist is an insult to pianists everywhere.
Okay, Apollo, I'm gonna guess what you're thinking right now.
Huh? What? Was I making a funny face or something?
I'm so hungry. I'm right? Of course I am.
There's no of course about it. You guessed wrong. Besides, that's not what I'm thinking. It's what you're thinking.
How did you know that? Or how did you do that? You read my mind, Apollo.
At least you've got that pudding.
That's right.
Try not to eat my share, will you? That magician in the photo, is that your...
My real daddy, yep, Zach Gramarye. He disappeared when I was little. I hung that up there so I wouldn't forget what he looked like.
I see. She's smiling, but I bet that smile doesn't go very deep. Spaghetti. Plate of plastic spaghetti for displaying in a shop. Where the heck does she even get this stuff?
Want to have a go at that ring, Apollo?
Oh no, I was just touching it.
Come on, there's no need to be shy. Just slip it on. There.
Yow!
You're way too tense. You gotta loosen up there.
Human body wasn't meant to bend like that.
Oh, careful there, Apollo. A lot of people run into that table, you know. Why, some client knocked the pot clean over the other day.
Why not get a more sturdy table?
Maybe the table is partially to blame.
No, maybe to this. That thing is a death trap. Those legal books were left by my mentor. Too bad I gave up the practice before reading them. There's quite a few magic books in there too, you know? Those would be truces. She'll remember they're there eventually, I'm sure. For a moment I thought Mr. Wright might do magic too. Scary thought. Can't believe you're using this cutting a person apart box as shelf space.
You know, I used that trick on stage the other night. Imagine my surprise when I pulled one of my shirts out of the box.
You should really examine your props before the show. Lance, it intrigues you, doesn't it?
Not really, but it's just the only thing here that doesn't seem to have some secret function. No, no secrets, but lots of memories. And a name too. Want to hear it? Not really. Name is Charlie. You were curious? Really, I wasn't. You will put respect on Charlie's name, Apollo. Ah, presenting, are we? I did my fair share of that back in the day. My attorney's badge a lot, too.
He may look cool and calm now, but you should have seen him before.
You know me too well, Trucy. Glad I provided this opportunity for a little family bonding. It's 20 minutes we've been waiting here. 20 minutes!
Maybe I should complain. I'm sure that guard has better things to do than stand there pretending he doesn't see us.
You know, the minute we get angry, the client will show. It always works that way.
Like shouting, "Oh, waiter," and they're standing right behind you. Oh, guard. Is our client going to be much longer?
What are you talking about? Have you already started the meeting yet?
Huh?
Where do you come from? Well, anyway, please have a seat.
I'm nervous, Apollo.
It's the silence. It builds suspense. Why don't you do something, Trucy? You're a magician, aren't you?
That's right. Okay.
I'm the amazing Mr. Hat.
She passed out.
Miss Magic Underwear might have been a better bet.
That's magic panties, Apollo.
Hi. Well, I'm your defense. I really think it has to be fate, you know? By fate, I mean destiny. Did you know I'm good with astrology? Tell me, what's your sign?
I can tell you mine if you'd like, Apollo.
Oh, never mind. I just got carried away there. Seem destined to get difficult clients, it seems. So, what's your name? Oh, right. I'm supposed to introduce myself first. I'm Apollo Justice.
And I'm Trucy Wright.
I know. I was getting nowhere fast. Hey, I know. Maybe you can tell us what happened. I'm your defense attorney, after all. Anything out of the ordinary happened lately?
Well, the other day this tourist from out of town stopped to ask me directions.
Later, Trucy. I feel like I need to ask directions myself here. Well, that was fruitless. But I think I understand despair a little better now.
You did good, Apollo. Look, she's doing her nails.
What? Are nails more important than defense? Is that it? Let's go, Trucy.
Excuse me. Could you read this?
Sure. You're like a teenager on a first date. And this is the love letter we passed from desk to desk at school.
And stop looking so wistful and read it, Apollo.
It's a business card with a name and an address. Name is Vera Misham. The address is for Drew Studio. And you're giving me this card because... Well, looks like we're finished here.
I wonder if Drew's studio is the scene of the crime.
Let's go find out. Wow, this looks like a studio.
It's like life imitating art. Or maybe it's the other way around, But the tape on the ground there, it's a bit jarring.
Yeah, looks like we found our crime scene.
Apollo, look at those paintings.
Hey, don't touch those.
It's okay, I'm just looking. Huh? Apollo, look at this one.
Looks half finished. You can still see the rough sketch underneath.
But that's odd. The rough part doesn't look like the rest of the painting at all.
Yeah, good point. That is odd.
All the paintings have a really different style, too. Ah, I thought I might find you two here. Emma, long time no see. Oh? Seems like I run into you far too often. I'll bet I know why you're here, too.
You know about the trial simulation tomorrow?
I've heard about it, sure. So Mr. Wright chose you, huh?
You don't even know what the case is about.
Well, he was killed. The artist who owns the studio, that is. Mr. Drew Misham. Misham? And his daughter was put under arrest.
Yeah, we just saw her at the detention center.
It was funny, though. She seemed more like a victim than the kind of person who could commit murder. You don't say. Not even by poisoning. That's how it was done, you know? Poisoning's a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman.
Oh gosh, my throat's starting to get tired.
Poisoning? Anyway, Mr. Wright told me you'd be coming. Feel free to take a look around. I'll just be over there with my snackoos.
Talk to anyone related to the case this time around. Which means we'd better find out as much as we can here at the scene. Or else.
Ah, that's the victim's coffee mug. Aha! So the poison was in here. And this is my first time seeing a real poison mug of coffee.
I would hope so.
Poisoned coffee. Not exactly, actually.
What do you mean?
No traces of poison were found in the coffee. What? You'll have to figure out the rest yourself. I'm officially not on your side, after all. I imagine this coffee cup was for guests to use. Guests.
Did the police already analyze this cup too?
Not a trace of poison was found on that cup.
So the killer was after Drew Misham alone.
Hey! There's a painting hidden back there.
Hey, you're right.
What if it's embarrassing somehow and he didn't want anyone to see it?
You certainly seem pleased by the possibility.
Huh? It's so normal.
It's hardly something to get mad about.
Huh? What is it, Apollo?
Well, doesn't this painting look like... Never mind. I had better get a professional opinion on this.
And that letterbox looks funny sitting inside a room like this.
Let's take a look. Empty.
And the other half of that letterbox is actually connected to outside the studio. Mr. Misham would put his letters in there, and the postman took them away. Impressive that someone still writes letters in this day and age. Or wrote, rather. I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at those paintings. I just love oils, you know? How they're so thick. Is that the word?
These paints are all dry. I'm just surprised at how different these all are.
Yeah, and what's going on with this half-finished one?
It's been a work in progress. You can still see the rough sketch below.
And that's what's so weird. The sketched part doesn't really fit the finished part.
I noticed. That is weird.
Apollo, and that's where the body was. And that's the spot where Mr. Drew Misham passed away. He put the coffee mug to his lips, and the next moment...
There's quite a bit of paint on the ground.
And see that half-painted painting there? He must have been working on that right up until the moment he died. Wow! A true artist to the end. Or maybe he started a year ago and was procrastinating.
Don't call me out like that, Emma. Let's take a closer look at the desk here. Something about that way that figure's posed.
I've seen that pose before. It's you, Apollo. See, you're making one of your flamboyant gestures.
Please, I'm a professional. Wonder why it's posed like that. Coincidence? I'm gonna take a sip of water. So this is Drew Misham.
And this little girl must be Vera. Yes, they took that some years ago. They look close. A happy little family.
Till you arrested his daughter.
Look, I was personally against that, okay? She just didn't seem very suspicious, scientifically speaking.
Uh-huh, right.
Oh, cute. Look at the tiny frame, Apollo.
Tiny is right. That thing's barely 2 inches high. What picture would fit in that?
None, apparently. It's empty.
No glass in it either. What's it doing sitting on the desk?
And this is a lesson for us all. Be sure to check the size when you buy frames.
Is this a journal?
Wow, talk about a clue. Let's read it. What is it, Apollo? He didn't write the name of the killer, did he?
It's new. He didn't write a single line.
You had me going for a while there. Hey, Apollo, what's this feather thingy?
Isn't that a pen? Like an old-fashioned quill pen?
But it doesn't have a pointy end. And that was most likely for sweeping detritus off the desk. Wow, you sure know a lot, Emma. Bold and scientific. That's my motto.
Technically, what about that was bold or scientific? This envelope has been opened and resealed.
Oh, I know how to do that. You take a pot of boiling water and hold the envelope up to the steam.
I'm losing Trucy's voice.
And the glue melts and it opens. Cool, huh?
Whoever did this wasn't so delicate.
You're right. It looks like they just ripped it open and stuck it back together. Huh?
Postmark on this letter is from 7 years ago. Why would somebody open a letter then seal it again? I'd better hang on to this.
Look at all these paints, Apollo. There's so many. He's got like 20 kinds of red. We could repaint your suit, Apollo. How about this shade of green?
That'll be enough of that, thanks.
What's all this equipment here for? It doesn't look very artistic, really. He had everything from a lathe to a laser cutter. It looks like he was ready to work on metals and wood, too. Though his equipment's a bit old, to tell the truth.
Why would a painter need all this?
From the dust, I'd say he hasn't used this stuff in years.
This corner doesn't fit with the rest of the studio.
Oh, do you think I could borrow this? I want to cut a quarter in half to make a trick coin.
This is a crime scene, Trucy.
But these cost like $50 at the magic shop. Is this desk for painting, Apollo?
That's a drafting table, yeah.
That would be a drafting table. Drafting? Basically, it's a tool for making precise diagrams. Wow, painting is harder than I thought.
Who would a painter need a drafting table? Is he an architect too?
What a pretty business card. It looks like a postcard almost.
Back? Just her name.
That seems odd to me.
Huh? What does?
Why write your name on the front and back of the card? Why not use the space on the back for a self-portrait or a caricature? And then people would remember what you look like, too.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Here, give me one of your cards, Apollo.
Drawing something. Hey, my hair's not that spiky. Ah, looky here. Handwritten signature. It says... can't read it.
That seems odd to me. I mean, isn't a signature intended to show ownership? What's the use if no one can read it?
Isn't it enough if you can read your own?
Oh, I never thought of that. I never thought of it that way.
$70.
Are you ready, Apollo?
Ready? For what?
For what? For the Troop Grammary. Grand Magic Show.
Not like I'm getting up on stage or anything.
What are you talking about, Apollo? You can't enjoy magic if you're not a part of what's going on up on stage. I'll lend you my spare costume if you need one.
Huh? And I can't go in this?
No.
Get more straightforward than that. Now I want to see Apollo in Trucy's costume. Oh, what do we have here? It's like a person thinking about something.
Maybe they're worried.
Like, what should I have for supper? A hot dog or a hamburger?
You know, I've always wondered about that. Why is there supper and dinner? Are they different meals or the same thing?
Maybe that's what this person's thinking about. Isn't the difference between supper and dinner that, dinner is the biggest meal of the day and supper is the last meal of the day? Is that a pufferfish?
Apollo, that's clearly a porcupine fish.
Not the same thing?
You know what gets me? They've got all these needles, right? But what's protecting that soft spot on the lower belly there? Nothing.
Must remember to keep Trucy away from small, round fish.
Apollo, look at this painting. You can see the rough sketch.
Oh, looks like it was only half completed.
Huh? That's funny. Do the rough sketch and the finished painting look totally different to you too?
They do, actually. What's that all about?
Hey, look there. That stain doesn't look so healthy, Apollo. That must be the Blue Mountain stuff we've been hearing about.
Something tells me that even Blue Mountain coffee isn't this blue. No, this stain is probably... better ask Emma. Coral blue number 2.
Apollo, look, it's been opened once here.
Right. I wonder if there's some way we can see what's inside.
Should I try to get it open and then stick it back shut?
Let's not tamper with the evidence, shall we? I've got a better idea.
Emma, let's ask her. And so, this, Drew Mission was some kind of artist? Apparently. Did a lot of illustrations for books, I hear. Had a lot of female fans, too, for what it's worth. Oh? Well, I guess this stuff is kind of pretty. Like that oil painting over there, for instance. Yeah. That wasn't one of his illustrations, actually.
Huh? So it was a standalone painting or something? Is that what she means?
He was an odd bird, Nisham. I hadn't shown his face to anyone until the end. What do you mean to anyone? He was always locked up here in his studio, apparently. His only connection to the outside world was through letters he'd put on that letterbox there.
Letters? People still write letters?
What do you mean, Apollo?
I mean, when was the last time you wrote a real letter? Don't most people just use email and stuff these days?
Not Mr. Misham. Couldn't stand technology, it seems. He did everything by mail. Maybe he thought that way was more artistic, you know? In any case, the only person beside him allowed in here was his daughter, Vera. Oh, you mean the killer?
The suspect, please.
We took some fingerprints, of course. And the only ones found in the room were Mr. Misham's and Vera's, basically. Basically. Actually, last night, Mr. Misham gave an interview to a reporter for the first time. It happened during the interview, apparently. His first interview ever.
Tell us a bit more about what happened the night of the murder. So, this woman, Vera, she's Mr. Misham's daughter, right?
Yep, real sickly girl ever since she was little. Hardly ever went outside. She did kind of give off a withdrawn sort of aura. And she was homeschooled by her father, apparently. It was quite a scene when they took her to the detention center. And she was screaming about how she'd die if they took her outside.
That does sound like a scene.
In the end, she agreed to leave if she was allowed to take her good luck charm for company. Her good luck charm? Apparently, she has this charm that magically gives her the courage to go outside.
Why can't I ever get a normal client?
But why would a shut-in daughter kill her own dad? Don't look at me.
So about the poison. It was found to be in his cup of coffee, right?
No. Not precisely. Not precisely. What does that mean?
Means see for yourself, I think.
Like I said, last night was the first time someone from the outside came into the studio. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside make for good articles.
Just so happened that he died the night of his first interview.
At around 9 p.m. every night, Vera always made him a cup of coffee. Last night, he drank his usual coffee and suddenly became violently ill. And died. And she poisoned him on the night of his interview? Wouldn't the reporter see? He wasn't near Mr. Misham when she brought her father this coffee. He was checking out some equipment in the back of the room. And supposedly that's why she didn't notice he was there. And there was a reporter, or it was the reporter who called the police, in fact.
Wait, but why is she the suspect? Anyone as suspicious as the reporter.
And yet the reporter never got near Mr. Misham's coffee. Even Vera acknowledges that.
Regardless, I want to know more about this reporter. I bet Emma could help us out here.
Don't forget, flattery will get you everywhere with her, Apollo. Huh? What are you two whispering about?
Well, I was thinking. I mean, what is it we always do when we run into you at a crime scene? What is it we always do scientifically?
You know me too well. Okay.
Okay, meaning we can get scientific now?
Oh, I suppose. Just this once. Bring me anything you find suspicious and we'll check it out.
Emma, about this mug. There's a pale blue, residue on the rim.
That. Well, it's just a rumor. But I've heard there's a kind of coffee called Blue Mountain.
I'm pretty sure it isn't actually blue, Emma.
Ah, right. Okay, you got me. That's left over from my testing spray. Forensic science. I knew your hobby was behind this somehow, Emma.
It's not a hobby.
So, what kind of scientific stuff were you up to? This spray. That's what. It turns blue when it touches poison.
So the poison that killed the victim was on on this mug?
That's right, see? It wasn't in the coffee. The killer applied it to the rim of the mug itself.
It's her special interest. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, science is amazing.
Certainly is helpful. Maybe Emma'd be willing to help us out a bit more.
You should try buttering her up, Apollo. They say flattery will get you everywhere.
Certainly worth talking to her a bit more. About poison analysis.
I was afraid you were going to ask about that. See, the solution is used to test for atroquinine.
Atroquinine.
Atroquinine, the deadly poison found in the autopsy.
Uh-oh, I know that spark in her eyes. She's getting excited. Let's tread lightly. Where... Was it earlier this game that we had atroquinine come up, or... was it in a different Ace Attorney game? Because I know for a fact that Great Ace Attorney had Strike 9 in it. I don't know where I'm like... I've heard atroquinine recently.
It's one of the most virulent poisons. but it's absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for the adverse effects to show. Oh, and guess what? Recent research has shown.
That's fine, really. We don't need to know all the gory details.
I think I get it. You just spray this stuff on something you want to test, right? Precisely. You can find even the slightest trace of poison with this. I want to try it too, Emma. Pretty please. You don't have to ask twice. I already used it on everything suspicious, of course. Yay, let's give it a whirl, Apollo.
Ah! What are you doing?
I was just seeing if I got a reaction off you.
How's this for a reaction? Never do that again. I'm not poisonous.
Tell that to those hapless witnesses on the stand.
Let's just get down to checking for real poisons, shall we? Cool, absolutely no— wow, that was a voice crack and a half. Cool, absolutely nothing is lighting up. Even the mug, which is supposed to be lighting up. Where? Why am I limited on how fast I can spray this? I'm literally getting 0 reactions. Emma, I think your spray's broken.
Too bad. No reaction there.
Sure, Emma checked out all the likely spots. Wait a second.
What is it, Apollo?
Did you spray that little desk over there?
I don't think so. The spray probably can't reach that far, you know?
Let's check it out, just to be sure. Poison in the tiny picture frame.
A reaction, Apollo. Where? Where? The inside of that cute little frame, look. Well, would you look at that? Nice going, Trucy. I'm known to work magic.
Remind that I was the one who found it. Why would the inside of that frame have poison on it? Looks like we found the only other place that was poisoned in any case. Emma, about this.
Oh, that. Yes, why, that's a bright red envelope.
He sure is jumpy.
Someone opened this, didn't they? My lips are sealed.
Lips are sealed? That's a first. You mean, you know what's inside the envelope?
Sure, I read it after all. Ah, you mean you're the one who ripped this open? Huh, please. I would have steamed it open.
She did sneak a peek at it, apparently.
That smile sprite was super cute.
Know that I have a powerful weapon on my side. A weapon? Yes, I use the use of tools. Highly specialized tools for information gathering.
Tools I wouldn't mind getting my hands on.
You should try flattering her, Apollo. They say a little praise can open big doors.
Never heard that one, but it's good advice. Let's try talking to her some more. About that envelope we found. I was wondering if you could help us out with that tool you were mentioning.
You want to know about my tool, do you? It's called an X-ray analyzer. X-ray? Like the X-rays you get at the dentist? That's right. At least, that's what I call it. Huh? It has a real name, but it's much more complicated. The X-ray spectralization... something. How am I supposed to remember all that? So, basically it lets you see inside things like envelopes. That's right. You're sharp, Trucy. But it's a bit more complicated than that in practice, of course. Actually, to tell the truth, I'm not really sure how it works scientifically. Can I try it out, Emma, please? Oh, I suppose. Of course, I've already checked out everything suspicious myself. Alright, let's give it a spin, Apollo.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh, just seeing if I could see through your hair. But it's like lead.
Point that thing at me anymore and I might fall out, or it might fall out.
And then I wouldn't need an X-ray machine to see through it.
Let's just get down to business, shall we?
Right, let's test this on a sample first. It just so happens that I have a lottery ticket here. You set the sample on the device like so.
I don't see anything.
Patience, there's no need to get all antsy. Look at the right side of the screen. That's the layer view of the envelope. Layer view? You've got it set to see the, you've got it set to display the outside of the envelope now, see? Actually, it's quicker to just have you give it a try. Turn that dial there with,
Yep, cool.
That's right. That's how you choose what depth you want to scan. Hey, I got something. And see? That's how you can read the letters on the ticket inside. Cool, huh?
Except, I can't read them.
Just turn the dial a little more. What you have to understand is that the sheet of paper isn't really flat at all. When you zoom in that much, you see the paper is like a bunch of hills and valleys. Wow, really?
Ah, gosh. I genuinely might need to take a break for a day after this. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow.
This X-ray device uses a beam with a wavelength of only 0.05 microns. It breaks cards down into thin layers so it can only show what's written on that layer.
I'm not entirely following you, but what good is it if you can't read anything?
That's why we go on to step 2. Try rubbing the image a bit, if you would. Rubbing, like going over the image, yep,
Cool.
There, that fixes the image on the screen. Now turn the dial again, just a little. Good, now you can rub this image to fix it too. Hey, I get it. We just keep doing this until we've got the whole thing. Exactly, not bad. Neat, let's do some more.
Isn't this a great sound?
Okay, let's print this one out. Does this mean I have to buy another one to win?
Well, it's Emma's ticket. Let her buy another one.
It's okay, there's no need. But, see, this is the true hidden power of my weapon. Neat, huh? Now let's try it out on the real thing, shall we?
Are you ready for high-pitched screeching yet again? Mr. Drew Misham, I've deposited the 100,000 designated in something designated account. Please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. In the designated account, okay.
Okay, let's print this one out. Someone deposited $100,000 into Mr. Misham's account. His paintings must be really valuable. There's another page in there. Care to take a look? You bet I do. If you're going to read someone's mail, you might as well read it all. Here goes with the second page, then.
I think I've just completely lost Trucy's voice. You know, I genuinely don't, like, I didn't remember this thing at all. Sign the papers and send the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you to speak of this to no one.
So, it was a letter about payment for one of his paintings.
I held the secrecy, though. And
what?
why was this letter the only one in here? It's 7 years old, right?
Maybe it had some special significance to him. Well, Emma? Well, indeed.
He knows something she's not telling us. Looks like she's keeping mum about it. So, Emma, I was wondering, what's the story about this reporter that came here for a story the night of the crime?
I'm afraid I can't tell you, because he's gonna be a witness tomorrow, I hear. I thought so. I'll never forget that face, but what was his name? Oh, right, Brushel.
Wow.
Brushel. He's after a scoop to sell to the papers.
So a reporter comes for an interview with a painter. His first interview ever, and that night he's killed? Seems strange to you?
Really strange. It does raise a few questions.
I'd like to speak with this reporter if I could.
Well, I hear he's on the beat today, too. He said something about covering a magician.
Magician? Well, if it's not Trucy, though, he was only one other person.
It wasn't Valiant Grammary by any chance, was it? Yeah, something like that. He's got a big show lined up, I hear.
So he's out interviewing Valiant Grammary. Looks like I'll be heading out to that Coliseum again sooner than I thought.
Here, I'll give you that reporter's card if you want.
Hey, can we do forensic science on this? Emma, about this painting.
Oh, that? Quite good, isn't it?
That's not what I wanted to ask you about.
You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had a good reason. But without that, sorry.
She wants us to do a little footwork on our own first. Rude. Emma, I was wondering if you could take a look at this. I'm a detective.
You can't just ask me any old thing and expect an answer, okay? I think you need to be a little more focused in your inquiries. Scientific, even.
Somehow I knew she'd get around to science. Oh, whoops. Okay, wow. My throat is tired. So yeah, exclamation point Discord if you want to join the Discord, exclamation point socials if you want to follow the VODs channel or whatever. Otherwise, give me a bit and we'll find someone to raid. Trying to think what else. If my throat's not feeling all right, if it's not feeling up to doing more Ace Attorney tomorrow, I will probably either be streaming Randomizer or Celeste. Not necessarily Strawberry Jam. I think if I do Celeste, I'd want to do some runs, because it feels like it's been a bit. I guess it kind of has, but anyway, yeah, let me find someone to raid real quick, and we'll pass everyone on. I very nearly just absent-mindedly clicked the end stream button. That would have been really funny. Oh, now Sue's doing an anniversary stream. Let's get it. So yeah, I hope to see you here tomorrow for whatever I end up streaming. Otherwise, have a good one and take care.